Hey there, welcome to my Q&A video. This is a Q&A that I sent out a few weeks ago and I haven't entered it until now. I apologize, but let's get to it. The first question is from Joseph. He is also a photographer and a videographer and he's really good. Nikon, you should sponsor him. So the first question from him is, what's your favorite photo of 2023? I took a lot of photos last year, specifically weddings and receptions. And I would say my favorite photo of 2023 is this photo that I took. It was a sunrise photo shoot and I did it with my friends Tanya and Jai. It was at Laie Point and it was like 5:50 a.m. It was like super early, just like way before the sunrise. And here's the photo. And it's a pre-wedding shoot that I did with Lele and Kalani. As you can see with the photo, the first thing I would notice every time is that I love how the sun was shining through them and how the wind makes her gown move. And knowing me, if you know me well, I like everything that expresses movement. So, you know, with the fabric moving, the wind blowing their hair, and just everything. So I would say that's my favorite photo. I've reused it a lot of times with my posts on my photography page, and I don't think I'll ever get tired of using it because it's just, I think the moment's just perfect. Alright, the second question is from June. If you love ramen, you live in Hawaii, you should follow June. He's got the best reviews and the best, let's say, tips on where to get the best ramen around Hawaii. Follow him, this is his handle. Okay, so this question says, what's an ick you have as a photographer? So this is a loaded question because personally I don't have a lot of icks, and you know, as a photographer I respect your own preference, your style. But just to answer the question, it's when photographers don't level their horizon. So for example, you know, there's a really good photo but then the horizon crooked. I think that's kind of like my ick. But again, no judgments, but I just don't like that. But yeah, I don't know, it drives me crazy, but I don't know why. But again, your preference, your style, and I respect that. Another question from June is, what's a photography cringe that you see a lot of people do with their photos? I'm gonna start by saying a lot of photographers, they have their own style, their preference, their unique style. And this is something that I've gone through as well as a beginner photographer. If you would look, I can post a few of my photos here in this video and you can see how much kind of like bad it looks. So to answer this question, my photography cringe is when there's a really good photo, really good composition, lighting, model, everything, but then you slap on just a random filter or a preset and it just ruins the photo. So for me, presets they're a tool that can help elevate your photo. It shouldn't be the thing that makes your photo beautiful. It's just a small part of what makes the photo. And I get it. I've been there. I just keep on using presets because, oh, it looks nice, but then I don't realize that it's kind of ruining the photo. And my friend Rahul, he said, you know, you don't always need a preset or a filter to make your photos beautiful. Sometimes it can overpower them, and that's really true. And I see a lot of beginning photographers do that. They just, you know, use that filter or that preset, this and that, and then they just call it a day. Alright, so this next question is a videography question from Erwin. He said, how to make wedding videos more engaging and less on slow-mo shots. So my short answer is focus more on the people. What I noticed with the more recent modern style of wedding videography is that instead of it being just, you know, the flowers, the chapel, or the reception, or the bride and groom, I noticed that a lot of people nowadays, they include more of the guests, whether it be them being interviewed or dancing on the dance floor. So there's this guy, his name is Justin Porter, and he's really, really good at this style. He makes kind of like documentary / reality TV show type of wedding videos, and it's really engaging. He would interview the grandma, the parents of the bride and groom, and you know, it makes the video more interesting. And you know, it's something that the bride and groom would look at and think of, oh my gosh, I remember that day, my grandma was saying this and that, and it's more heartfelt rather than just seeing the bouquet, them running around somewhere. But the video should be about them and the people they love, so that it's a good memory for them. Right, so Christian asked, this guy is also an amazing photographer, or he asked for an eye photography tutorial. Alright, so for the short answer, I would say use a macro lens. So a macro lens, I guess like the easiest you can get is like a 50mm. I think a lot of photographers, like if they're gonna purchase a lens, that's their second purchase. So yeah, use a 50mm, and since eye photography is a little bit of macro photography, you would want to see more of the details of the eye, and there are two things that you can do to achieve that. First is closing your aperture. So most 50mm lens, they have like f1.8, 1.4. But for this one, since you want to get a lot of the details and it's a macro shot, one thing you can do is to close your aperture. I would say f11 or f14. Since your aperture is going to be closed, the second thing you should take note of is having a well-lit surrounding. So for example, this is my eye. You have your 50mm and it's closed down to f14, f11. You should have a really good source of light so that the area is well lit and at the same time it's properly exposed, so it's not grainy or anything. Alright, so this is the last photography question. So my friend Ryson, he's from the Philippines. We were college buddies. He now owns a self-portrait studio, so congratulations, Mathid Studio. So his question is, what's the best non-full frame Sony Alpha series for a self-portrait studio? So there's a lot of APS-C cameras from Sony, and I would suggest getting the Alpha 600 series. I would even get the A6700 or the A6500. I think those compact cameras are like really perfect for your studio. I have seen your setup, and I would say getting the A65 in 2024 is still worth it, and this is something that you can look into. Or get the A6700. I was able to check it out a few weeks ago because my friend bought it. I think it's a really good camera for the fraction of the price compared to full frame cameras. Alright, so that's it for our Q&A. I hope I was able to answer your questions properly. If you have any more questions about photography or videography or editing in general, just let me know. I will try and do my best to answer them for you. Until next time.